Yes. Yes, it is visible.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Deepti ji and Arindam ji, to join this program. We all know that this is a series of webinars that we are doing. There are two seminars which were done yesterday, and there are two seminars which are today, and this is one of them. As you all know, that there is a mandate of Department of Pharmaceutical of Medical Device sector, and there are 4 schemes under which Department of Pharma is facilitating industry to come up as the best industry forward and meet the mandate of achieving our ecosystem of $30 billion industry by $50 million industry by 2030. With this, human resource development is the important part, and probably without that, whatever PLI scheme, AMDSCF or MDP comes up, it will really not meet its own target. Hence, there is a scheme of human resource development has been launched. You all know, we have been talking, DOP has put all the entire sector of medical devices into 8 segments, which are the product segment based grouping. And today's session will focus on the cancer therapy. We have Dr. Wali with us, who should be able to guide us through that. If an institution is working for a program in cancer therapy, then what are all things they probably need to take care of? We all know that the programs may not, whatever programs that we are talking about, they may not be able to cater to everything. Otherwise, it will be very diluted and generic program, and may not meet to do the objective of having the right skill set for a particular industry segment. So it is always advisable to put a focus on a particular segment and then put everything into the basket for the program. We all know that the program that we are talking under the scheme would cater to the first 3 components. That means R&D, component manufacturing, and final product assembly part of it, where the focus will be on the skill set in these domain only. The scheme we've been discussing since 10th workshop, 28th of June, where the application was invited from all across India. The purpose of this scheme is to ensure providing a skilled workforce to the industry and develop an R&D ecosystem for medical device sector. Because on one side, we know that manufacturing, quality, testing labs, and all these segments are important for producing the right kind of product and making it available to the healthcare ecosystem. But at the same time, the propeller of the growth will not happen the way it is envisaged without a good ecosystem of R&D and a product development. So that is really important. We have central government institutions as one of the top target, and priorities will be given to them. But for some of the components, even the industry, private institutions, they can also come and apply. As I stated, focus is on research and development, component manufacturing, and final product manufacturing. But in Valiji to note that we can also look at the part of maintenance technician in clinical establishment, which are non-paramedic. Very clearly, the paramedic and allied healthcare staff is being kept out of this scheme preview because there are enough funds available from Ministry of Health for developing that skill set there. The scheme has 2 components. The first component, it's catering to a higher education program at the PG level, which is MSc, MTech or PG diploma program, which will be running only under the central government institutions. So component A, there is no private party or the state government institution can apply. While the component B, which is specifically for the capacity development program for the students at UG level, as well as the lower level where we're talking about polytechnics, ITIs and others, D Farm, B Farm people, they can be developed on it. Alongside, it will also focus on institute training for existing workforce. That means the short-term program or certificate program, where people can, just get focused on a certain particular skill set, and they can be trained on that, and then probably they are well versed with it. Couple of details. I've been repeating it from this last 3 days, but would not leave it unrepeated now as well. So PG program, there 137 institutions are partnering. Approximately 19 lakhs of the fund which is available, 19 crore fund is available. 15 crore is for the non-recurring expenses as development of infrastructure and lab in the facility where the program is expected to run, and 4 crore for the salary, wages, and consumables. Waliji, to note, very important, we will come back if you want on this particular slide, that as a part of the scheme guideline, the advisory committee has recommended that there need to be 6 modules to be kept as a must for any of the program that we are running under the scheme, under component A. And these 6 components are 2 regulatory and quality compliance for medical device as one of the subject, and foundation of human biology. And then remaining 4 can be chosen out of the 6 subjects listed below. That means mathematical modeling, materials in biomedical devices engineering, basics in the biosensors and bioelectronics, basics in design aspects of medical devices, IoT, machine learning, cell and molecular biology. Now, all these subjects should be considered as the foundation subjects for the first semester 1 and 2. Should be, completed there, so that a base foundation is available across the students coming out from different programs. But probably Waliji can also recommend, other than for the cancer therapy segment, if there is any other must subject that has to be included as a part of the component A program.
Yes,
Uh,
actually, it is there. I will send it across
yes, yes,
after the
yes,
meeting. Yes, yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, yes.
And then there are we also thought of, hand-holding and put a directional advice to these institutions for a subjective list of the focused area. So again, in this area, probably something which is more focused for the cancer therapy, you can always identify, inform these institutions, and they will be very careful in focusing on that area. And if you feel that any of the list is not complete and there is something which is missing, please do let us know. We will include that in the list. In the component B, which is going to be skill gap based programs, there are certain programs which are still available, and these programs are supposed to be NCVET approved only. NCVET is a regulator for the vocational programs in India. And the basic idea of ensuring the NCVT mandate was so that every ministry meets and collaborates across the other ministries, and there are certain rules and regulations which needs to be adhered to. So NCVT has been there, and they've been putting all the guidelines for diploma certificate program. There are awarding bodies under NCVET who run these programs, who award these programs. And institutions are recommended, along with industry, to come forward and probably get their program approved under the awarding body, right, of that awarding body, for that program. So this is something which is available. I'm happy to share that Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council, which is acting as a project management agency for DOP for this scheme, is also an awarding body, and we are categorically mandated for medical device sector. So we probably will be playing a dual role in getting such programs approved and validated by NCVT, and then these programs probably will be offered at the respective institutions or in the industry premises, whatever we are looking at. These programs, as I stated, will cater to the students at the engineering level, ITI level, polytechnic diploma, D Farm, B Farm level, wherever it is required. It will not go to the allied health professionals. And it will also be utilized, this part can also be utilized for ensuring that there is a in situ training done for technicians, managers, regulators in the industry, as well as the clinical establishments. When we are talking about clinical establishments, it is very clear, non-paramedics technicians only. As these programs are also looked up as an in situ program, considering the employment responsibilities also, these can run in hybrid mode, online MOOCs programs, or even in weekend batches. Idea is to promote a continuous training in the area, and the focus of these programs are going to be design R&D, regulatory, manufacturing, quality testing, engineering, and maintenance. I'm glad to share that there are certain programs under component B, which are already NCVET approved and are available. So if there is a skill gap in the cancer therapy segment, Valiji, and you believe any of the current programs can also be utilized, by a institution or by industry itself, probably you can always share. But if you find that there are new programs need to be developed, it will be good for you to share that input, and then probably we can connect to you and other industry people as well as the institutions who are interested in running those programs. There's a skill gap we did in the last year, a basic skill gap from the medical device, and we are going to be having a very detailed skill gap study being launched in the month of July itself, and should be reaching out to all the industry segments. But it was good. We thought that we should run past through this skill gap study. So this is the skill gap from the R&D side of it, which industry people have responded. This is the skill gap from the quality side of it. I'll not read it, probably it will only help. This is on the manufacturing side. And then regulatory affair. Something on the plant maintenance side, basically for the industry. Now moving on, the last part of my talk is on the mentoring by industry. And after that, Valiji, you will be taking the lead as an expert of the industry. So I have, few questions that probably we will utilize this particular session to have an answer for the academic institutions for it. The first question is, is there any current program by any institution in India that can be benchmarked for the need of the cancer therapy segment of the medical device? That is number one. Number two, we are talking about a spectrum under component A, which should be offered as PG diploma, MSc, or MTech. Now, which component should focus on what? That means there are various segments of the need, starting from research to quality to manufacturing to design aspects and other regulatory aspects. So when you are looking at PG diploma and MTech, can you put your thoughts together and guide us that MTech should focus on which area and which segment of the need, and PG diploma can be utilized for what? Also, as I asked, and probably you have the thoughts on it, that for cancer therapy, if the mandatory modules are sufficing or more modules to be added. So certainly you can respond to that. You have already stated. And then if we are working on a PG diploma and MTech program, which occupation should be focused on major and minor? We know that we have limited time, a 1 year or 2 year, to develop a student in for future. And we can have a limited focus. Otherwise, the program will be too generic. So where the basic needs are, the major needs are, what is the future? And would you like this program to be focused on research, design engineering, regulatory, quality, medicinal chemistry, bioinformatics? Which area? And would you suggest there should be a major and minor? and also to what extent and to it should be. Because if I intend to even try to give an attempt of covering every aspects, probably I would end up making a student more confused, not honing the right skill set, and the industry will not really be happy with that kind of resource being available, because you will end up, doing the same thing that you are doing currently, that a generic people come and then you are developing them for your skills that is needed. The last two parts are very important. One, we know that in academia, there is a dearth of experts who probably give hands-on training and hands-on practical part to these students. So can industry people can come forward, nominate or recommend the pool of experts who can join as assistant professor of practice or adjunct faculty, with those academic institutions? And would industry join, in addition to that, would industry be open to join with PMA, us, in launching some of the faculty development program for the institutions? Because there are a lot of professors who are there and in the different departments. And if they can be developed with the industry exposed programs, they can come in industry, probably 7, 8, 10 days program can be carved out for them, where they get exposed to the real industry life and then see that what part they should focus on while they are teaching the students and developing the future workforce. So that is on a component A. For component A also, I have few questions that probably you may like to attempt. That means the fresh skilling requirement for UG and below, in which department of functions the requirements are probably more. That will define us that where we should prioritize the scheme initial phase. Second, in the same way in upskilling, what are the requirements of industry in the cancer therapy? 3, what about trainings currently being delivered in-house to address these fresh skilling need, even including the upskilling need also? And again, the last two parts is the support from industry. That would industry be willing to support academic institutions for infrastructure support and CSR funds to upgrading the infra to run these short-term courses? The idea is currently industry is doing a lot of things in-house, and they might be, exhausting the internal resources on the training part of it. Can we provide a cluster-based ecosystem which can be utilized by industry as its own arm for delivering that kind of training needs, the upskilling needs, and then consistently be the source of the supply center or the supply center of source and the supply center of the human resource in future? As well as, can you share some idea on what is the volume of the demand in different areas? So with this, I leave, I end my talk and probably leave the things on you. Over to you, Dr. Saab.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And just want to correct, I'm not doctor, I'm just only Ms. Wali. So before I start commenting on that, let me introduce myself and my background so that we are all on the same page. I'm engineer by qualification, did my engineering from NIT and worked with various institutes, various industries, worked for General Motors, TCS. Then I joined Panisha Medical Technologies in 2007. So here in this organization, I look after quality regulatory and company operations, product development. So these are my expertise where it would help. And thanks for very good presentation and insight about what DOP and LLSC you people are doing. It is a great initiative, and we are very happy to hear, because we struggle for almost 10 to 15 years looking around each and every corner to find the required skill set, and the skill set gap is well known, and all of us know the gap. Now, when coming to the cancer therapy, and which is nothing but developing a medical device in the cancer therapy. Currently, to answer to one of your question, where is there any syllabus or set program which is already there, which can be directly matched? No, it is not available. But from all of your slides, we can add in lot of inputs, and we definitely want industries like us, some more industries who develop, and to tell about, we are the only manufacturers in the cancer therapy in whole India, and we built from very minute details. And I offer and request the committees to visit our facility, and we can share. In fact, we can contribute a lot more things to this program, and we are very happy to contribute and be part of it. So if they visit, then it will be, and the content and programs, a lot of changes are required, because with this content and program, no entrepreneur, because we are looking for the people coming in who start more industries similar to us. If they want to start industry, or they have the skill set available, this content is not sufficient. We will go through in detail and send you in detail inputs from our side, so that we can build a gap in the industry.
I think that will be a great help, Valiji, and this is something I'm really glad that we are talking, and the commitment that you have just reflected upon, that yes, you are right there, and you are not only able to help in terms of what content it should have, the program should focus on, and as well as the people can visit, and probably you can guide them that how to do it. It's really welcoming. Coming on the second part of it, one, should that be a program? Because the industry, how the industry works, and there are different occupations in which the different skill sets are required. Suddenly, one program, this is something when we were discussing in the 10th workshop also, one of the industry leader has said that you certainly can't make superhuman, out of 2 years, and you probably need to go slow. Either make multiple programs or go slow, prioritize your area, and then define it. So would it be possible for you to show and throw some light that if there is an MTech program which has been focused on the medical devices product in the cancer therapy segment, what if MTech is there, what it should be focusing on? And is there a PG diploma and possible that is 1 year normally a diploma, and whether that will be more beneficial for the current need? And if it is going to be beneficial, which segment of the skill set it should be focused on? Just few thoughts from you.
Yeah, it is definitely required an MTech if someone wants to work in the medical industry, because basic engineering skills are required. Apart from that, with MTech, it comes with the teaching program and then hands-on experience. Hands-on experience on industries, like us, it would be very helpful for them. 1 year, maybe too short, the PG diploma, that will give them an introduction of what is what. But apart from that, a little bit of practical experience will help them to be industry ready. So I would prefer MTech is among both. MTech is the preference.
Okay. Just one thought that as you were talking, I just got one thought. Because when I was part of the steering committee in Department of Biotech for Skill Vigyan, there was a finishing school program concept which was proposed, which was nothing but the PG diploma, focused on the manufacturing and quality testing areas, not the research. And it was proposed that probably institutions can come up with a program which probably focus for the B.Tech guys, or B.Pharm guys who can be included in a PG diploma. 6 months they are trained on those areas in the manufacturing or the quality, one area in one way. And then remaining 6 months, probably they are being deputed for, as an apprentice in the industry. So they get the hands-on on that segment. And then these undergrads, engineers, after PG diploma, they become really good asset to the industry, for the manufacturing and the quality and testing areas, not the research. So do you think that in the medical device segment, this is a good thought or a possible thought, or you believe it may not really help?
No, it helps because in the medical device industry, there are various departments and various vacancies, it would come. MTech people will be fitting in the design and the production where the leading and overseeing the programs. The diploma people where we need, in building the program, verification, validation, testing, integrating of the product. So for all kind of courses, they would fit into the appropriate departments, which we take. So they are useful. Yes.
Wonderful.
But
Now,
one thing which we faced, in fact, during the hiring process, we have come across M-Pharma people where we have seen little bit of the courses being covered, but it is more related to the pharmaceutical, but we could not, though, it is not M-Pharma. It is M-Pharma medical device, some course in which we have seen, but we could not employ any of them because it is what we need in the medical device is the basics of like IEC standards and ISO standards. Be in whichever department they are, that is must. But that is lacking in that course. So we could not hire any of them. So all the people, basic engineering is required, and ISO and IEC standards are mandatory for a person to work in the medical device. Because otherwise, you will not be able to devise or develop or deliver a global product.
I think that is something, even in the yesterday 2 sessions, this was made it very clear that engineering basics,
yes,
from mechanics to electrical to electronic components, even in the textile side of it, at times, that which kind of textile, the nanotextile and the material. So material sciences becomes one of the important factor. Alongside even the performance testing, the mechanics and the fluid mechanics is something which is also becoming one of the key component of the program. So do you believe the cancer therapy segment, the products will also need these basics? And certainly the quality systems that you talk about, IEC and ISO, which are anyway we are promoting that they should make part of the course curriculum.
Yes, it is definitely is required because in medical device we recruit around 12 to 15 discipline kind of people, be it even right from the chemical industry, chemical engineering, even RF, microwave, mechanical, electronic, software, electrical, so civil, and medical physics also. One of the, because if it is a cancer, medical physics is mandatory, which is missing in this course. So as I said, post the call, within next week, and we will send you in detail about the content which is required if someone wants to be in the cancer therapy.
That will be really good input, Waliji, and I would look forward for that. And will circulate among all the institutions pan-India so that they have this information readily available. The idea is to handhold them. Look, we have right now people from IIT Kanpur and NIT Raipur. And, both Arindamji, Diptiji are purely focused, very dedicated, and they really want to do good when they curate and develop a program. What they miss out is a few things, maybe the connectivity and, the right input and the right time. So that we as a PMA, we are very committed that we would ensure a continuous momentum and connectivity with the industry at every stage. And probably we will try to act like a catalyst to provide all the information at the right time and the right stage. So certainly we will do that. And somehow NIPERS, I'm not able to see the joining. So we'll probably tell them they should join, and we'll even circulate to them as well. Now, just one thought you mentioned about the medicinal physics.
Yeah.
And this is something which even came up in one of the discussion that I was having with one of the industry expert, that medicinal physics is something for medical devices is very important. And even, in some of the, I would say, PhDs and postdocs, you can only go if you have done in the master's level this medicinal physics. So, but I haven't seen that medicinal physics becoming part of this MTech program. Dipti ji and Arindam ji, do you have this medicinal physics as one of the subject in any of the current biomedical sciences program that you're offering?
We have
Yeah.
medical physics in as an say program electives in our BTech undergraduate biomedical syllabus.
But not in MTech, right?
No, not in MTech. Actually, yes, we do not have in MTech medical physics.
I think it's a time that we look at it, because you must have introduced the concept of medicinal physics in BTech, but application of that at the research level or design engineering level should be taught in the MTech level. Am I right, Valiji? That's what you're trying to communicate?
Yes, the basics, without understanding the medical physics part of it, we cannot design a product. So that is very much required here. And another point also is we need to know about various types of cancer therapies. How do you treat? So the basics of cancer therapy and the attenuations, some of the parameters, which are very much rather than biological, biological, definitely it is required. Apart from that, we need in depth of what is a radiotherapy and how did first, you need to cancer therapy and how it will be treated. What are the various modalities of the treatment? And in after the modalities of the treatments have been various types of the treatments, and how it functions, what are the effects and impacts, what are the safety aspects of it. So those are very much required.
The very valued input, and I think both Dipti ji and Indam ji must be noting it, that what all things they should be very careful about including. Just one part, Valiji, you talked about radiation, and the EMC, IMC testing is right there as one of the requirement from industry in past. We do have one program which talks about, testing engineer, right?
Yes.
Engineer EMI, EMC testing for medical device.
Yes.
Now, I believe cancer therapy product will also need this important part of it, right?
Yes, 100%. Without that, we cannot move a single inch.
And this program and the component B is readily available. So even Arindamji and Diptiji, you can make a note if you would like to, run this program, in your institutions under category B, the program, and that certainly can cater to the cancer therapy segment, and you can probably run it as is, because you can just apply for affiliation with us, and then this program can be one of the proposal that you can submit, because this is a low-hanging fruit.
Yes, not only that, and if you can go back to that slide, there is one more course which I noticed. We need basic safety and essential performance, that is in 60601-1, which is nothing but row number 8.
So
yeah,
8,
9 are mandatory. Without that, we cannot take any medical device product. That is must. That's a basic thing, for whether it is a complex one or a just low end product. But it is must ensure, everyone should know about the basics of it. So introduction of 8 and 9 are mandatory. Yeah.
And Valiji, another thing that I wanted to seek your advice, like this is a short-term program that we are talking about in 8 and 9. probably runs for around 5-6 months, and then the person can get this is mainly people who are at a technician level working and engineering level working in the testing laboratories. But the similar component can also go as a part of the MTech program, which is proposed. And then these institutions will also have a provision to establish a testing laboratory in-house, a simulatory laboratory in-house, to probably give an exposure to the MTech students, and then they will be able to offer these upskilling program as a continuous flow. Do you think that thought is good?
Yeah, that's correct. Here in MTech, what we are expecting is basic introduction of these various standards and the various testing, because that it is required whether after they completing their MTech or PG diploma, they are going to work in either design department or production department, or otherwise in installation and support, or in the requirement as an application engineering. So
Right.
these are the fundamental, because when I do the market study and do the benchmarking in the application engineering, so they need to know what are the compliance and how do they do it, how do they design a safe product. So the basic introduction of these standard, if they know what are the factor of safeties and how the failure analysis, these are the things which they are required to know. The course which you have seen as a senior technician, that is a more specific to how I perform the test, but they how to apply that, and how, if it is applied, how do I use it. That for that's like it is. In fact, when we are recruiting, we being staying in the Karnataka, we did the research in all the 3 surrounding states. Among all the states, what we noticed is Tamil Nadu state, their syllabus recently they have revamped, and at least they have introduced about the IEC standards and basic standards. So we are able to hire the people from that area. So if the other states also adapts the basics, that would be helpful. Apart from that, as our honorable Prime Minister has introduced ZED, so which is very much required, wherein, because if you're designing a medical device product, you just need to know the cybersecurity, information security, environmental. So how, as a product standard which is required, and how a process related standards are also, at least an introduction of those concepts are very much required. So that should be part of be either undergraduate programs or PG programs. It is very much helpful.
I think you just said it, and if I just need to add and probably clarify to the 2 institutions which are right there, and a couple of more, that these, when you're talking about introduction of the subjects and at these levels, and probably ensuring that these are mandatory there, you are not only talking about the theoretical aspects, you're all talking about the application part of it, so that they know how to apply the concept. It is not the knowing the concept, but the important is how to apply the concept when they are developing a product design, or they are, setting the protocols.
Integrating, yes.
Am I right to say that?
Yes, you're very much right.
Yeah,
it should be, theory should be known. I mean, introduction of the concept and what it is, and application of it, it is very much required.
Because most of the time, I have been there in most of the institutions in last 2 decades of my experience. And one thing that I noticed, that religiously all the academic institutions, they actually listen to industry very carefully, and they also try to adopt the instructions. But what normally gets a miss out in most of the institutions is the application part of it. The conceptualization is something they always put up, but how to apply that concept in the application, in the context for which the application is being done, is something which normally get a miss. And that is where, and in the industry, when we hire, we find that miss as one of the major gap area.
I agree. Well said. Yes, you well pointed out. Yes, that's correct.
I think we have a couple of other people. Sudeep ji, Gauri ji, can you just introduce yourself?
Yes, this is Dr. Sudeep from IIT BHU. School of Biomedical Engineering. Great to hear the talk.
Dr. Sudeep and Dr. Gauri. Gauri Balchandra ji. Can you just, we are not able to hear you. Can you just introduce yourself so that we know the context setting very clearly and probably can loop you in some of the things?
Sorry, I missed the last part. My connection was poor.
Oh, I was just seeking if you can just introduce briefly yourself so that we can also loop in the discussion.
Yes, so I'm Dr. Gauri Balachandar from IIT BHU. And so, yeah, we attended the workshop and we wanted to understand a bit more. So we are here. And so currently for concerning the discussion happened, we do have some courses. For example, we have a radiation biology course, which is already in the IDD program. It's a dual degree BTech MTech program. And there we do cover some aspects of medical physics and some aspects of radiation therapy and different technologies and the equipment for those particular technologies. Yeah, we've also noted some points as to what is required, and I think this will be helpful to share to fill in the application as well.
Certainly, thank you.
Another,
yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry, I was also don't mean to hijack the meeting, but I was also trying to reach out because we were having some issues with the application portal. But yeah, we got help with from Ms. Neha Sharma, so that should be okay. Thank you.
Happy to hear that my team is able to help you out. But at the same time, my recommendation would be the current program that you have, because you intend to put into under revision. It will be good if you can just share the details of the program with us, and we'll circulate to all the industries and seek the input, and then circulate it. So we can probably be a mediator for you to just get it expedited, because the time is of essence, and we really need to put it fast. So it will only help on one side, because like Waliji said that there is no program, and you said that there is some program there. So if there is a program and that needs tweaking, probably Waliji can look into it, that what is missing, and probably say that on the cancer therapy side, this all things that probably you can add. So that is one part. Now coming back to Waliji on this, now the very important part, when the MTech program is being curated, what all the segments, what are the occupations you would like institutions to stay focused on? Because we spoke on a number of things, but what do you expect that where this person will be placed, in which occupation normally, or what role this person would do after joining industry, after MTech? So if you can help us, probably institutions who are here, IIT, NIT, they will be able to, focus on that area and probably do more that side.
Yes, it depends upon MTech specialization from which area they do come. So we have in various departments, the openings and all the positions which we hire and take the people. It starts from even we need it, in the microwave department. We take MTech people. Now they work on the manufacturing of linear accelerator tube and the RF related components. So there even material science and the RF and the sensor specialization people we do take in the microwave department. And we have the plating, powder coating, and it is nothing additive manufacturing, surface finishing, chemical engineering people, we take there, the MTech people. And in the production, again, in the manufacturing process, again, we need the masters, who have the required skill set. And even in the design, electronics, mechanical, software, image processing, regulatory, and even installation and application engineering and product support. So these are the various departments, where we take masters, people who have done their engineering with the required medical device experience or expertise.
Okay. I just have one thought for you, Waliji, and probably if you can respond to that. Look, I have been working on this human resource and human capital development segment through and throughout. I'm an HR guy, moved into vocational education, specialized completely into the life science domain now, with my previous expertise in IT and all. So one aspect, but when I work in the education segment, and I have been into the industry as well before I joined the council 10 years back. But I just have one thought and probably just a reflection that I would request you to, if you can. Currently, you said that you are taking MTech people into the support applications, into the manufacturing and so on, and including in the design, engineering, and research. So you have mentioned probably every department that you have where you're saying that right now we are taking MTech. My one question to you is, if you get a BTech with PG diploma, competent enough to your manufacturing and testing needs, would you still need an MTech there?
Only difference, BTech with PG diploma means with a 6 months to 1 year experience within our organization, they'll be matching the MTech. See, what is the difference between the BTech and MTech is the level of maturity, level of understanding, looking at the problem. That's the only difference which we see. But for certain roles, we take BTech people, and we take even diploma people. We take with the people who have done BTech with certain course. So it is not 100% MTech, but only difference is a maturity. Problem handling is what the only difference which we see.
I sense it completely, and that is what we are trying to establish. So on one side, Vaniji, when I work under Ministry of Skill Development and my role in the council, on one side I keep on working with industry and seeing their requirement and ensuring that the ecosystems are established to meet the requirement. On other side, I also try to keep on working on, can we improve on the quality of the education and with the kind of maturity expected at each level by the industry, and we can inculcate that at the lower level also. So if I look at a BTech guy around 20-30 years back, when a BTech guy used to come, the maturity, the way the BTech used to have, today it does not have. Even 40 years back, it was rather more sincere than what it is today. But there is also one thing that all the academic institutions and us in the council, we keep on working that improving on the quality of education at that side. And that is where I always have a humble request with the industry. As an ex-industrial person, I always say that why not we test with some of the batches where we take a BTech guy, give them a finishing school PG diploma, which can be utilized more for your application service application and the other side of it, and even into the manufacturing. MTech probably can more focus on research, product design, design engineering, quality, and all those high-end aspects where you are trying to have an innovative, thought-provoking and problem-solving kind of a high-end problem-solving kind of thing, while the base maturity should come up in every person who comes and joins the industry. This is what we always try, and I think my colleagues from IIT, NIT will probably second this thought. What do you say, Diptiji, Anindamji, and Sudeep?
Yes, I do agree with it. But what I have seen here from here, IIT Kanpur perspective, I will speak that BTechs, although they are a little immature in the when they finish by the time they finish their thesis, but still the knowledge and the creative thinking capacity is much more at the BTech level than what we find it at the MTech level, what we get at IIT Kanpur at least. So
Also, can you
the
repeat?
yeah, so
No,
they are
I agree.
amazing
I agree
people.
with
They're amazing
Deepti. Yeah.
people. Yeah, we have worked with many BTech people, and they are amazing. It's just that they sometimes lose their focus. That's the
I
problem.
think, yeah, I think it's a good feedback from industry coming on a phase that while we are developing people at the BTech level, and even if we are channelizing them to a finishing school PG diploma program, the more part we probably need to do is developing them as a matured professionals as well. And so
Yeah,
that they're focused, because that's what is needed in addition to the tech.
yeah. Orientation,
Sudhir, you wanted to
basically.
say
Oh,
something?
yeah.
I
Uh,
agree. I second with it exactly. Like we get much more time to grow in like, but also MTechs are a little more mature. They are more inclined to like application based, industry oriented or work or research oriented work. So it is kind of like balance between them. Few of the BTechs might be turn up like really good in terms of biomedical research, but overall we have to I think keep a balance.
Yeah. So you were just saying, Sudhir, what I was trying to put up is an MTech guy, we certainly would like to place it to the place where he is doing more of a research, more of an innovation, more of a real life problem solving in the right way. That is where we try to
Yeah,
focus on MTech too. But when it comes
right.
to a well set process, and when we have a product and then it's a manufacturing side of it, there's a lot of real life challenges in manufacturing as well, and which that is what Waliji was trying to say, that there, if we take up BTech, sometimes good matured people also come and they absorb them in the BTech and a PG diploma level also. But majorly what they find is because the lack, the industry is ending up resort with MTech. What is leading to is probably lowering the pay packages and salary packages of MTech as well. So I'm trying to do a justice and trying to create a balance.
I want to, one second. I want to stay corrected. One thing, whatever the inputs which I have given, that is, for the MTech course, what the content is. As far as an industry hiring is concerned, we prefer rather than MTech person, a BTech person. We don't prefer an MTech person. That is a practical scenario, like, where we are, because as Dipti said, like the BTech people are more innovative and come with more energy. The only challenge is the attrition level will be high because still they're not decided. They want to do their higher studies or they want to jump. The attrition level will be high. But when I compare the outcome of the both the resource, I hired this at the same time a BTech person and an MTech person. The output comes in very well good from a BTech person rather than an MTech person, because in this 1.5 year during the MTech course, little bit of the innovation, what we have seen is a dip rather than on the upside. So the energy levels are very high, but the maturity levels are a little bit low. So it's like in a small kid where you have to manage. But MTech, okay, a little bit stable, but the delivery is slow. So that's where the difference.
Waliji, you gave us the feedback on both sides, that on the both side probably we need to work, and it's a time to relook the spectrum of the courses that we are going to come up under component A. And there could be some PG diploma programs also that can come up other than MTech, which also promote the BTech entries, because the PG diploma will be a kind of finishing school, giving them an edge over the normal BTech with the kind of maturity that is expected, with probably a little more in-depth application side of it. And then they are more useful and more energetic and more productive, alongside more matured for the industry to take up. While an MTech program, while we work, we also need to ensure that the thrive for innovation and the output keeps on continuing an upside, not the downside, what Waliji has experienced in past. So, and when I say Valiji, I'm talking about Valiji representing the entire industry. So it is not a person. And that's a feedback to note. And I think mull over, not to react immediately, but to mull over. Valiji, going on, taking the discussion forward, probably I would like to touch upon the two aspects on the component A, the last two ones. This is something which we have been hearing across all the academic institutions, that currently they have a good pool of professors, associate professors who have not worked in the industry. Okay. And when it comes to the practical training, despite there is a laboratory in the institution available, the kind of training which is expected by the industry is not there. And the best part of it is there is a provision now available by UGC that they can even hire somebody as a professor of practice who is minimum 15 years experience in the industry, which could be an adjunct professor, in the academic institution. Now, would there be a possibility from the industry group to nominate some of the industrial experts, with who can be attached to it? Because at times finding a pool of expert becomes really difficult.
To answer, I'm not sure about the number of years of experience, which is required for the minimum entry. That is past 15 years. I would say maybe too long. I would say, maybe if you can consider 10 years with the current speed of the delivery, which we are seeing from the people. So a person, industry experience with 10 years experience, you will find a lot of people. But if you're putting in 15 years, then the industry, why the industry is delivering is because of the high energy levels, which and the swadhanas that we have to deliver quickly, and we have to launch, and we have to show the results. Of course, equally, it is there on the academia too. But here it is in a different scenario. So that's the reason, maybe 10 years, if you put that, adjust that, then 10 years, then you'll get lot more people who may come forward. That is with respect to for the pool of experts available. Then so faculty development, yes, we can do that.
I do this 10 years request, and what I would do is I'll probably take a couple of inputs and would request if you can just document this request of lowering it to 10 years. What we would do is probably we will write on behalf of DOP to Ministry of Education, where the professor of practice rules are being laid out very clearly. So for the time being, because this is a kind of sunrise and futuristic sector, we would probably recommend the UGC to give a leniency of this 15 years to 10 years, and get that on behalf of all the institutions, because otherwise they will be forced to keep somebody at the 15 years only. I think that should help.
Because that anyway, based on the performance you would be taking, but 10 years means, because 10 years is sufficient for a person to get the required knowledge. 15 years are the gone days. So 10 years would be ideal. Yes. Yeah.
So look, what happens is when Ministry of Education has devised these rules, they devise these rules in a generic nature across sectors, and probably we can always go specific to the sectoral approach and get a kind of buy-in from them, which I'll try to get it done. Don't worry. This is something that I'll work on.
Yes.
So certainly you said that the faculty development program is something that you would be happy to collaborate with us, and we can develop some of this.
Yes, that would be really helpful. Yes, we can, as an industry, yes, definitely we would be happy to do that. Yeah.
Good. In terms of component B now moving, as we progress on the workshop, this fresh skilling requirements at the UG and below, which are the major major areas where you normally have the fresh skill requirement, and what kind of profile that normally you hire?
We require in all the departments. In fact, the maximum hiring happens in UG and below, So around 50 to 60% of the people we recruit UG and below qualified people. So this is required in all the department, all the functions, which I have narrated in the previous instance. So we need it even design, production, testing, validation, even assembly. So we need it in every department.
And normally these people are BTech, Diploma, Polytechnic, and ITI. Am I right to say that?
Yes, yes. See, we have in all, for all the positions, we have, we need a technicians, who we take, ITI or diploma. And we need the assembly engineers, and the verification validation engineers, with engineering and diploma. And we need it in the production, design, even requirements, application engineering, manufacturing. So in all the department, it is required.
And normally these people are coming from which kind of specialization? More mechanical or chemical or electromagnetic?
Being in the medical device, we need it again, all. We take more of mechanical, electronics, electrical, biomedical, and then production, manufacturing, then material science.
Yeah. And what part of requirement would be for B-Farm or D-Farm? Would there be any
We
requirement?
don't take at all. For medical device, we don't recruit B-Farm and D-Farm because they're not fitting into our requirement. So we need an engineering background because they just need to know the engineering basics that is applicable in all the departments, which we function when if you are manufacturing medical device. Because B-Pharma will be out of focus and not fit into our department, our industry.
Okay. Okay. And if I need to ask you the kind of upskilling requirement, that means the current people who are already working with you.
Yes.
What is the skill gap that normally you find?
It depends upon the role and the process. The skill gap we find, as I said, like IEC, ISO are very much lacking. And even if when we hire the electronics or the mechanical, the tool knowledge, the basics are very weak today. In past, like if we interview around 10 people, we are sure at least one person used to get selected. Now today we are spending more time, even 60 to 70, one person not getting selected.
Oh, that's a big.
It's a big shift. I mean, we are compromising, in fact, on selection process, ending up because of getting lack of skilled basics, very much basics. So what we have done, we have taken the initiative. What we started doing is allowing the people to do the part of their courses of industrial visit, and we ask them to come for a month or a week and then show the demo. And we are doing a lot of webinars because at the same time, once we develop the skill, then only we will be able to get the skill resource. So once, in spite of that, also after hiring, again we conduct an intensive training for our team over here. After 6 months, yes, they are very good, but 6 months is what
we also play a major role. The dual head that we are. One is the PMA and second is being the sector counsel for medical device. My team certainly will reach out to you to see that how best we can create a parallel ecosystem which should not exhaust your internal resources and you stay focused on what you would like to deliver as the industry.
Yes.
While the skilled workforce for fresh as well as upskilling requirement is something that can be, developed somewhere outside and industry in the cluster, nearby cluster, and then probably you can benefit with a continuous supply and even taking the optimum utilization of that facility. So we will certainly do that. Just one thought that I have, and I would like to seek your advice. And if you do not have an answer, you can mull over, discuss internally, and probably share your thoughts on it. There is a way in other sectors, specifically in auto and other, when they had this big boom coming in and they wanted to develop the workforce, they tried to develop using their CSR a kind of ecosystem of institutions with the right infrastructure which was needed. Okay, and then today all those institutions, all those center of excellences are the continuous supply center for industry with those short-term programs where these short-term programs are done, and then after that, these people are employed after the year. And then after that, based on performance, industry decide whether to absorb or let them go. But there is a lot of easing up of the selection process done through this. People said, and a very minimum size skill is more required rather than giving a full-fledged skilling. So we just have a thought whether your organization would like to partner with us, identifying some of the institutions and give them the training cost. As of now, DOP scheme is right there. We should be able to take benefit of it. That will be subsidized, but infrastructure is something which probably you can guide. And if you can, at least start with a pilot of establishing a center together outside and near to your plant and places where you need. Just a thought, would you be open to discuss further on this?
Yes, of course. In fact, we have done that, with CII and also SIGB. In the industrial area, we in fact, we have built when we, in fact, in our this facility which we have built under PLI scheme, we have created a provision for the training center and a mock-down kit, like, to develop the skill which is required for our industry as part of our organization policy. Also, we are very actively involved in that. So we are more than happy to do that. Yes, we can discuss further in detail.
Absolutely. So my team certainly will reach you out and discuss further, because one part is, look, through the DOP scheme, we are initiating a couple of good ecosystem pointers. But beyond that, also, there is a lot of support and a lot of collaboration that is possible, which will probably, help industry. So as a sector council also, I'll probably reach you out and see that what ecosystem is available, and then you should not be in the dearth of the, supply side of the right skill set. The idea is to, if you're saying that 60% people are getting rejected, I would like to see a turnaround in a year period if you can say that 60% people are getting selected.
Very, very happy to be part of that, and very happy to hear from you. Yes, definitely we can work on that.
We will work on that. And probably as you go back after this workshop, probably you can share the kind of volume is needed, because look, at the same time where we are trying to develop ecosystem, we are also trying to be conscious of the effort that what size of the ecosystem should be developed, so that if the skilled people are there, they should get a gainful employment. Yes. Even if I am taking somebody from outside the world and then upskilling them and making them capable for the segment of cancer therapy, they should be able to have a gainful employment. So we would always like to have a balance carved out very clearly. So though we will reach out to you all, we will be carrying out the skill gap study to understand the right skill set and what is the definition of the right skill set and what's the volume of the skills resource required. So that is something which will be the guiding point for all of us, in the DOP to know where and what and how much probably we need to start with.
The skill, whatever we're going to develop, that is not only specific for cancer therapy, that specific for cancer therapy are only two departments. One is the medical physics also is required for other medical device products also. Only specific to cancer therapy are microwave department, that is only standalone. Apart from that, all the skill set which we would be training or which is required is common across any medical device. It is not specific to cancer therapy.
Happy to know that. And I think if that happens, and that's the case, I think the program that we are working that will be catering to multiple segments,
Yes.
and that adds up to the demand. So it is really good. It's really good to know. Now, I am done with my questions to Waliji. There are institutions right here. So if there is any other question which I could not cover in the dialogue, please feel free to put your questions forward. The floor is open to academia. Arindam ji?
Hello.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr.
Am I audible, sir?
You are
Yeah,
audible,
very
Dr.
good
Roy.
morning, sir. It was nice. Yeah, it's a nice discussion. Sir, cancer therapy has also has a wide spectrum, really, whole molecular biology to medical physics, so devices, interventions. So exactly what aspect you are looking at to devise or restructure our curriculum to cater the need of this cancer therapy as such, or cancer biology? Because as already discussion is going on, it's so vast topic. Actually, you can poke your nose from diverse directions in that particular topic. So, but like we need to prepare one specific program, MTech program. So how far you want us to actually put those components in the syllabus?
Yes. See, currently we are
Uh,
the only. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Waliji, I was just about to ask that you are the best person to respond.
Yes. Yeah. See, currently we are the only manufacturer in this radiotherapy equipments. Today we are importing the products. Apart from us, no one else are manufacturing these cancer therapy equipments, which is called radiotherapy equipments, or linear accelerator, or cobalt teletherapy, or HDR, or simulators. So we want the government's view. As I understand, is it is not the one industry. Many manufacturers needs to be manufacturing this kind of a product so that enough healthy competition is there, and also we stop importing. So if that is the case, then it is medical device in this cancer therapy. So to build the skill set which is required for manufacturing these products is what it is required. So currently it is not available, because we spent, today we are in this industry for the past 20 years. So 20 years we did from scratch and worked on it and built. But we want to see that similar to our industry, many industries do come in this segment, so that we stop importing and we not only cater the needs of India and other countries too.
That's really nice, ma'am. Actually, I have one more thing, madam. We also don't have that sort of infrastructure here in any institute, I would say, as such, to work with radio pharmaceuticals or radio therapeutics, or teletherapy, brachytherapy, the things you are talking about. Now, is it possible to send our students, if we incorporate a few practicals, or maybe summer training, internship, or some sort of apprenticeship and all others, that they can go to your company to get trained in that? Is it sufficient, or you are asking for more? Like, we should incorporate that in our syllabus also.
We expect it is incorporated. The basics are incorporated in the syllabus. Post that, you can send to us, for the training and the awareness. So before that, the team of I would request and welcome the experts to visit our facility to get more idea of what cancer therapy, because we are the only manufacturers in this one. So if you visit, it would be very helpful to not only to design the syllabus, and also to what kind of training which is required to be provided. How do you develop the skill set? So this is, example, it is, we don't need to go to any other country, because we are the only manufacturers manufacturing all the components in India. So that will answer a lot of questions, and also it will be very helpful for building this skill which is required for our country.
So that's really nice. Thank you.
This said is, Dr. Roy, my recommendation is probably if you are interested in a program which you would like to focus on the cancer therapy medical device product segment, something that we can look into it. a thought that I have, and probably I'll be working with Valiji very closely on it now, is we probably are going to be working with Valiji on devising one model curriculum. Okay. That we will circulate to all the institutions. And if they would like to run that, they can just adopt that curriculum. If you want to add up any more things on that, you can always add up that as a part of your institution's USP. But that curriculum should be able to meet the base requirement or the medium requirement of the industry. From there, we'll take this up. Alongside for that curriculum, as Valiji has already stated, she is very welcoming, very forthcoming in opening the doors for us to develop to have a faculty development program in the plant premises. So this is something which is another opportunity for all the academic teaching staff who can come forward, learn what is required, because we all know the domain areas of us. All the professors, they're wonderfully equipped with the concept teaching and everything. But as you rightly asked initially, how much, what, where, how deep, how vast? So these are the few questions can be answered through that program.
It's really nice conclusion, sir. Thank you. We would be really very happy to incorporate those things, sir.
Yeah, and Valiji, you joined a little late, Dr. Roy. So Valiji also mentioned the two programs which I was showcasing in the past, also on the two webinars, which are NCVT approved and already required, even with her. So if institutions are requiring to do in a component B also, you can probably pick up those two programs in the part of your proposal to DOP that you want to submit. And those two programs can also start catering. So that is something which will add up to the kitty.
Okay. So, sir, actually now we are already offering that NCVT approved one course. We not yet started. This year only we got the approval on the medical assistive devices. So that we will be offering, not as the diploma course, but the certificate course. So this year we will be taking up that.
Do share that program, and who is the awarding body for that?
Sir, NCVT, I think I need to talk with the concerned authority here, because that course was given to our department that we should take it. But there is a separate body here, administrations, who is looking after that. So I will thoroughly inquire about that part, and I will let you know that.
Good if you can just talk to PMA team and have the information floated so that we know whether we are talking to the right thing or not.
Okay, fine, sir. I will take up that issue, sir. I will let you know.
Perfect. Any other faculties or professors who would like to ask any more questions? Dr. Deepti?
No, I think most of that has been taken up by people here. Yeah, this is helpful. This is really helpful, the discussion that we are having.
Thank you. In that case, if there is no further questions, I certainly would like to extend my warm thanks to Valiji for being a really insightful resource and expert who has been very openly shared, who has shared all her inputs, and probably has welcomed us as with an open heart that please come, we are there with you, and then we will start working. So Valiji, thank you for that gesture. That itself is big, and will ensure that PMA team works with you and quickly draws some of the pointers. You can start putting up things, and probably we can have one-on-one dialogue, and which can go as the guiding point or the probably a model curriculum or a syllabus to all the institutions pan-India. Additionally, for upskilling programs, probably we will discuss that what are the upskilling needs which are there. And two programs which are rightly you mentioned that these are very helpful. But other than that also, is there any programs which you believe that are needed, we'll start working on it, get it approved in CBT, and then put in a proposal and identify some of the nearby institutions who would be able to take it up. Or even this can also be offered directly through you being an affiliated training center. So this is something that we'll work with you on that.
Sir, thank you very much. Thanks to everyone, for having me on this call. So thank you very much.
So with this, thank you. I thank all the participants, all the academic institutions, DOP staff who had been here. I believe you are finding it good and meeting to the objective for which we started these webinars. We'll continue. We have a second webinar in the afternoon, which will take it up. Thank you very much. Thank you, Waliji, for being a lovely audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Thank you.